Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to ESL Southeast Europe Championship Season 6. I made the first mistake already. Hope you can forgive that. I'm Georgia Traveling Paris, and I'm here with Brody, Ghostar, Vernon. Good evening, Ghost.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Why, hello there. Well, you made the first mistake, but I'm probably going to have a lot to follow, just saying. But it's definitely going to be an interesting. But before we get started, just to all of you guys in the chat, there are a few commands if you are interested to learn a little bit more about how the qualifier is going to work. You can type exclamation mark commands in the chat and it'll bring up a bunch of controls that you can just have a look at. And there's even a giveaway going. You can type exclamation mark giveaway and you can try your luck there. So there's
Yep.
not much else to really say. We're going to be getting into this game, and I'm extremely interested just to see how these teams are going to be going. Head to head. We've seen a bit of tumbles and turns in the first brackets, starting off with 28 of the teams. So moving forward, I just want to know your thoughts on the new runes. How do you think that's going to be affecting?
Well, first of all, I think we have moved away from the whole, I don't know, like tank meta that we had. We're going more into assassin territory, which I'm really happy to see because that usually brings like a very action-packed game. But before we jump into this, we want to let you know of the structure of the tournament and the tournament in general. Southeast Europe Championship by ESL is a tournament powered by ESL where every country from the Balkans can participate for the grand prize of 5,000 euros. The structure goes as we will have 4 open qualifiers where every team will be able to compete to go into the final, a best of 3 today. We will have one team that will reach the finals and will get the ticket to go forward in our tournament. We will have 3 more qualifiers like this for every single one of you to join. Make sure you check our commands in the chat with exclamation mark commands to see how you and your team can join us for the next games to come. And of course, we will have our invited teams. So 4 teams out of our open qualifiers and 4 invited teams will go ahead and 2 against each other, and 3 of them will go through, and then we will have a wild card team which will join them, and we have a secret location which will be our LAN final event, and the wild card team will be from there. So stay tuned for that. Other than this, we have been playing a few games offline, and here we will bring to you the top 8. So the teams that have made it so far to the top 8 are the Lawbreakers versus Net1 team, Team Nanobeat Gaming versus Team Horizon Reapers, the game that we will bring you tonight, which is Telekabel Official versus Black Panthers, and Defend Our Nexus versus SDG. Basically, we'll have a top 8, which will become a top 4, and then we'll have our final best of 3 for the team that will take the ticket. And now I will come back to you, Ghosta. What do you think will happen with the new runes?
Oh, well, with the new runes, honestly, I mean, it's extremely interesting just to see how the top lane meta is going to come into this, because you've seen the tank meta, you've seen the assassin roam meta, and now it's kind of at the point where some of these runes can provide such sustain for the top laners, where you can now poke your enemy and get random items in return and maybe some gold. So we're going to start seeing, like, the Gangplank. I saw one earlier today. It came out where he's able to get a full build in 10 minutes into the game. He's almost full build just because of the gold runes. And that's just going to change a whole lot of things. But, like, we're still going to see the usual, the Gnar in the top lane. You're going to see a few of the like safe picks coming back into this, hopefully. And then I don't know, the meta could go anywhere at this moment. These runes are completely new, it's completely different, and it affects the game so much. We don't really know what to expect. So there could be some really interesting brand new top lane picks coming out. Also in the mid lane, bot lane, I assume bot lane's going to remain the same. All it does now with these new runes is your bot lane, your support can actually do a lot more outside of just the standard kit that they are provided. Like if you look at Morgana, she can actually start doing a bit of healing with some of the runes selected there, where she can now tag somebody, and then if your AD carry now tags that person, you get a percentage of the health back. So it's, I don't know, it's going to be extremely exciting just to see how this unfolds going into the preseason and then season 8 next year.
Okay, so right now we have gone into the pick and ban phase. On the left side, of course, we have Black Panthers, which is a sub-team from Greek Regenesis, and on the right we do have Telekabel Official, a Bulgarian team. So we have a Greek team versus a Bulgarian team, a Greek team on the blue side, Bulgarian team on the red side, and we do see some bans that we would expect to see with the new parts, like Rengar is super strong, Jace is also super strong, and then we have some more like targeted bans like the Kalista, the Zaya, which is something that continues pretty much from the previous parts. Like you still don't want to see them anywhere near like the enemy team. And of course we grabbed as a first pick for Lilanaga, we have the Ezreal, which is stupid strong pretty much right now. Like it's a super strong pick for the jungle right now. And we go then to the Now, which is more of a safe pick, and then to the Karma. So I'm not even sure if at this point the Ezreal could even be an ADC because they keep on banning ADCs from the side of Black Panthers. So I don't know what they have in mind. Maybe that Ezreal is indeed an ADC and not a jungler. So we will see. On the other side though, we have the Lulu, which pretty much matches the Karma in terms of damage and utility that it gives. And we have an Anivia, which I am very excited to see. Oh my god, and a Vayne. I am so excited to see a Vayne actually come back into the scene.
into the active meta. Or like we've seen it previously in the past. Like I don't know, a few seasons ago, you would always see like an insta pick Vayne trying to get in there. But like now, you saw how many AD carries they're banned out. Like you're not left with that many. So hopefully, we're going to see some action on the bot lane with Vayne. You see also Pantheon. Pantheon's one of those picks where it can either go really well or really bad depending on how you move into the mid to late game, the team fights, the compositions, and moving around the lanes. And I have to say, just looking at the picks and bans, it's really interesting. The Nivea, I can't wait to see that. Just saying.
You're a big fan of the Anivia so far.
So I've seen plenty, I've played with plenty, and it is one powerful thing to witness, especially with all the new runes and the masteries and how you can, there's a lot to talk about with the Nivea, so I don't want to start fangirling over here, but it's definitely a really strong pick to go into this. Also with Karma, I've seen a few Karma in the mid lanes, but you're going to see a Vega picked up there. So it's an interesting team composition if you're going towards team fighting, but now you don't know what's going to happen. It's one of those, this new meta, everything. It could be a random, you could be going for the late game, early game, you could bring the late game earlier. It's completely out of whack.
So what we're seeing here is sort of crazy, but we do have, like we said, we're playing on the current patch that is live right now on your service as well. So what we're seeing right here is kind of crazy. Ezreal is back on the ADC spot. Well, 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 you were telling
Um,
me, after all, they're just ADCs, some people told me. And I said, well, we've seen the ADCs in the mid lane, we've seen the ADCs in the jungle. We haven't really seen like all these old super strong picks like Ezreal and Graves and Lucian like on the very basic ADC peak so far. So I'm super
Well, I've seen
excited
a
and
lot of
happy.
Ezreal jungle. I've seen plenty of Ezreal jungle, and I actually did not expect that to come back into the ADC meta. We don't know what they're going to pull off. It could be really strong. It could be, one of those. They're just going to play it out in the early game, try focus on something there. But Ezreal jungle used to be like one of the main things. But I'm glad that they're finally pulling, an AD carry back to the AD carry role. Like I've seen a Vayne top before, and that's not something you want to do. So I'm glad that the AD carries are now going back to the AD carry lane.
I'm thinking that we could also be seeing some sort of Lucian peak right here. I mean, all of the kind of conventional ADCs were banned anyway. Only Tristana was left open, but none of the teams actually opted for the Tristana. We saw the Ezreal first peak from the side of Black Panthers, but I was not really expecting it to be an ADC, and then I'm like, wait a minute, we have a new paths, we have like new runes and all that, so it could be an ADC, and it was. So we do have like very damage oriented comps on both sides. I'm excited. I can't wait to actually get this game going. I think we're gonna see a lot of action in this game.
The
It's
team fights are going to be chaotic. I'm just
explosive.
putting that way out in line. You're going to see team fights that are just going to be. It depends who they're going to be focusing in the team fights, but it's just going to
Yeah.
be messy. There's going to be skill shots flying all over. You're going to have Karma running in. You're going to have Israel trying to throw a bit of damage, and Na is also. I have to say, Na is one of those safe picks for reasons because he's tanky, does a lot of damage, and then you have ultimate, you have the stun, you have range. There's a lot coming into this, and I just think like the team fights itself are just going to be one of those just chaotic mixes. So we're going to see how they play the early game. I think both these comps have actually kind of set up for like a, especially with the Nivea and the Pantheon in there, they're going to be going for like early picks. But now early picks against, you could have a roaming Israel eventually into like the 5 minute lane, easily.
I completely agree. I think these team fights are going to be starting very quickly and they're going to be ending very quickly. Every single one of the members is quite squishy, I would say. I mean, we don't know what path the Rek'Sai will choose to go, but even in the tank meta, like Rek'Sai she didn't really do like that
Wasn't really
well.
a tank.
Yeah, tank like even when
She was
people
like
were
a
building her
bruiser.
tank, exactly. Even when people were building her tank, like she wasn't given match with her kit. She was more useful when you were building AD on her. And right now, I'm pretty sure that the two quote unquote tankiest members will be the Na and the Rek'Sai. That's why I'm saying I'm pretty sure that when these team fights start, they're gonna end like super quickly.
Well, put it this way: the team fight starts to like unfold itself, and the tank. It's going to come down to which tank is alive at the end of that. Because once your enemy, let's say you take down the Rek'Sai, who's going to be a bit of tanky, Lulu, with Lulu ult and the Rek'Sai, it can be a bit tanky. But if your tank goes down and you left to face, let's say Gnar or Vayne, or it depends going into this mix-up, whoever gets focused. Once you lose your tank, you lose a lot of your PO and your AD carries, and then you're going to be going to this like, well, both teams do a lot of damage, so it's going to be whoever has the highest skill and has the best opportunity is going to win those fights. But like, it's going to be chaotic. I can't wait.
I'm telling you,
But my boys can.
once the team fights start, good luck to you casting the team fights because they're gonna be going lightning fast. Before we get into the game, I just want to give like a quick rundown on how actually the teams came here. Like which teams they beat on their way coming here. So talking about Telekabel official, they beat the Albanian team Focus and the Bulgarian team Definitely Not Washed Up. And as for the Black Panthers, they beat the Greek team Intuition, Esports and Wasted Potential, which was a Bulgarian team as well. And here we are right now, top 8, playing the quarterfinals. Just gonna be getting in the game very, very shortly. So, what are your thoughts? What team do you think is going to excel in early game?
Early game, it's a really tough one. Both of these comps have certain early game potentials, but I have to say, early game now can be a bit of a havoc to deal against. You've got your Kazakhs who's going to be going on, and they have Israel. So you kind of I have to expect that they are going to both teams are going to try go for these fights, but it's going to be favoring. If Israel's able to land a few Qs or a bit more damage from the Nog gets poked out, some slows, they should be able to win this fight. So I'm going to have to say. It's a tough choice, but mm,
You
it's I
you'll
would
give
say
it to the
Black
Black Panthers.
Panthers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to give it to them.
I see, I see. Okay then, let's see how this is gonna go. We have moved into the game. I'm gonna show the people who are watching very shortly as well. So, here we go. People can't see the game right now.
With the new runes, it's actually quite interesting. I wonder how the invades are going to start because you got the Ghost Poro and you've got all the new things coming into. I wonder how much that's going to affect invades like 5-man invades, 4-man invades. Just getting into this.
Client is giving us some problems, but it will get unstuck pretty soon.
Just the usual spectator
Just
stuff.
the usual spectator stuff, exactly.
Oh, that was a quickly destroyed ward right there, just saying. Place one ward, you see 5 people, and you're not winning. You don't want to invade that. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these, teams start going into the early game because both teams are dependent on that early game, just looking at the picks. The Pantheon top is kind of like, hopefully he starts to roam. Once he hits level 6, you know, you're going to start seeing him fly over the map. He maybe take a bit of the mid lane or do something, but it's going to rely a lot on his roaming potential. But now with Na in the lane, it's kind of hard to say, well, he's going to have, you know, an easy time roaming. Na can teleport, and there goes all of your efforts.
Exactly. So we don't see anything weird or different right now as for the start of the team. It's like the usual, like we saw last patch. I'm just really interested to see how the top matchup will go. The Pantheon Ignite versus the Na TP. We see a lot of harassment here.
We see a lot of, yeah, they're just, you know, trying to poke them out of the blue buff. You know, if you start skating, they're going to miss it. And, you know, that's just where they go, okay, we didn't get the blue buff, let's fall back to lane. And now they're going to be behind in CS, but then they were against, you know, they had both bot laners there contesting that blue buff. So it's kind of a equal trade, not much going on there, except Vayne lost a little bit of HP. Lulu also lost a tiny little bit. But that Israel poke lane is going to be quite annoying, especially if you also move to the top lane. You have Pantheon now. He's going to be poking Na as often as he can.
I'm just very interested to see. And here we go. So
There's a little bit
Lenenaga
of
here
action
is
at the
trying
red
for the
buff.
ignite, for the invade. Let's see. Oh my god.
And there goes first blood to
Oh
Kha'Zix,
my
and
god.
that's just an unfortunate start for him. It's he got to his red buff and then he's just noticed, oh dear, it's we can't really do too much. You shouldn't have contested that. What you could have done in that situation was just fall back a little, do a bit of poke, and then call for your mid laner to come help you. But sadly, your mid laner is now stuck playing against Vega, so try fought away and not give away first blood. But that's going to be quite a quick start already. You know, 2 minutes in around about there, and we have first blood. So as we said, it's going to be an action-packed game. This one.
And it's exactly what we were expecting to see when we saw the Kha'Zix peak. It's one of these assassins that you're pretty scared to go against. I'm pretty sure that Cougar should have actually like pulled back from this situation and played it more safe. Maybe try to invade his enemy's red buff.
Well, you see, there's a standard Pantheon poke in the top lane. You know, Meganar's going to come out, and he's just going to get poked and shredded with, you know, the typical Pantheon early games where he's got so much damage, so much harass. Especially even though Na has a lot of harass himself, he doesn't come close to Pantheon, especially when you have a one level advantage.
Well, we have the typical client freeze, as we call it here. There we go. And
Veto, please.
they're trying to dive the Na. The Na will be very happy and leave and say, no thank you, I won't have any of this.
Hey, he
I'm
just did the
gonna get out
usual
of
lane
here.
backing. Yeah, he goes back into, you know, a bit of depth of his lane. We're going to see again the Rek'Sai finding, you know, it's not the best luck when you go back to try and get a blue buff going into this, and then you run into the Kha'Zix once again, lose half your HP, and have to go all the way back to your own jungle. That's like Kha'Zix as a jungler is very, you don't want to 1v1 him, especially as a Rek'Sai early game. You kind of don't deal too much damage. While you are a bit tanky, but you are going to end up losing that trade. And Kha'Zix is just going to be abusing this. And if you look, speaking of abuse, if you look at the bot lane, Poppy, Lulu is just sitting there. There's my first mistake of the day. It's just harassing. It's her Q whenever she's around is just able to completely poke out the supports going in the bot lane, especially Vayne in that. But it's a bit of a poke lane in the bot lane, so this is going to be one of those tedious under turret farming sessions for Vayne, who's actually going to take a bit of more damage there.
Well, Ashumis has been playing under her tower the whole game. I think 28 for 34 right now is an actual pretty good CS deficit that the Vayne is down right now, but I would not have expected the CS difference in the top lane that we're seeing right now. Like, Na is ahead, even though he had to pull back from that gang from Rek'Sai. The Rek'Sai learned her lesson the first time around, tried to go against the Kazakhs, couldn't do it, and now the pace has actually gone down. I think both teams know how capable each team is of putting out damage like super quickly on the enemy team, and they're super scared to make the wrong move. Right now, what you have to bet on is to get the Vayne to scale as slow as possible if you're on the side of Black Panthers. And I think this is what they're doing.
Well, with an Ezreal pick like that, you are definitely denying. You can see he takes a bit of farm and then he pokes Vayne. He takes a bit of farm and he pokes Vayne. And while Lulu can shield every now and then, that shield's not always up. And sometimes you can actually poke straight through that shield, especially going onto the bot lane. There's a bit more return damage. Just look at that return. Almost a great trade. But then again, Black Panthers pulled it back once again, just,
We have a
doing
four-man
an equal
bot.
trade. We have a nice Vega invades, managed to get away, but the stun goes out.
level
Nothing
6.
finds. He's level 6. He's waiting to just find something on there. Maybe have a look at the vein. He is caught a bit out of position, but there he's going to take down. Oh dear,
Oh
there
my
goes the
God.
support for bot lane. And that damage. Early game already, Vega roaming is not the best thing. Here comes Anivia, just putting out a ward, trying to get some return in there, but Anivia's low in mana, and Kha'Zix is also just returned now. You got a 4-man bot lane to take this first blood tower, and now that's a perfect objective. They got some farm, they're a bit ahead. They just got to recall, do what they can do and start, getting this, continuing this early game trend.
It's just so easy for the team of Black Panthers right now to be able to push around, because they will have the split pusher, which Na is at some point. He will be hopefully able to outscale. Well, he does outscale Pantheon late game
Yeah.
with the current situation. And then on the other side, you have a Karma and a Vega, which can help their team siege on the other side of the map, maybe with the threat of a Gnar flanking that side of the map. But it's so hard to catch a Karma and a Vega. Like, look at this.
Well,
It's
Vegas really, you see him in the mid lane, puts it out to the wall, and he just, well, I don't know, just stun through it. And there you go. There goes the equal trade again. And also, especially with Vega roaming at level 6, Vayne and Lulu only level 4 in the bot lane. Now, you see Lulu's moving top lane. They're going to try to do a bit of a switch there to help out a little bit since the first blood tower has gone. And that's just, you see, look at the damage coming into Vega. It seems like it's going to be one bit, not enough damage, just surviving the last end. He should get out there, and I don't expect the dive to be coming there. And you see Kha'Zix invading, doing so much damage onto Rexa, who's just going to have to back off. Although, after that trade, you should know that there's definitely going to be a bid return, but he is going to take the smite.
sticking
And
around.
now, that's just Kha'Zix being Kha'Zix, just being one of the annoying. As you see, Nars now in the bot lane, and they're going to go for, this top tower already. And I have to say, they're pushing these objectives perfectly. You see, Anivia is going to return there. He's now stuck in the middle. It's just going to be a blood. And yes, it is. He's going to just pop down Vega. Finally, that's some good news for the team. But Anivia is extremely low, and Kha'Zix is just roaming. He could actually dive that, but you want to play it safe and just get back in the lane. You see, Nar's going to make a nice stun there in the bot lane, taking down Pantheon, who's now just going to try run away, blocked a bit of damage. Nar, Mega Nar out, so he's going to throw out the house there. Is he going to get away? And he manages to flash. Here comes the flash return, and he's going to get the kill perfectly on there. Followed up. And there's nobody else to really, contest against Nar. He's got the kill, got the whole bot lane, and now there's nobody around to do anything. So that is a great, pickup for him in this early game to just get him, get that late game Nar earlier.
That gives him so much momentum to be able to be 1v1 an early game Pantheon with Ignite on him, who is meant to push you in the lane, destroy you in lane, and keep on pushing until you outscale him only when you have a big amount of items, which is same as his, and be able to outscale him. This was insane. This turned the momentum completely around. That was their only chance. That was their only chance going good. Like, that Pantheon with the Ignite, he had to be the one that would get camped by the Rek'Sai early game to just get him ahead, get him rolling, so that Na cannot split push. Like, look at this guy now. And we have a 1v1 mid lane.
Action with that trade won't be too much because Nivea and Vega are both just poking. But you see the Israel out comes out just damaging. I think it's just to push them out of lane, and then they're going to fall back. They're taking these objectives perfectly, and now you see Vega's going to get caught out there. He should be going down. There we go. Nivea picks up another one. And that is just Vega being punished with walls in the mid lane while his team is trying to push other objectives in the top lane. That's just... If they can start to snowball this in Nivea, they can have, get themselves back into the game. But you can see the gold lead right now is already a bit punishing.
Yeah, we see 2 towers versus 0. 3k ahead for the team of Black Panthers. I mean, the only saving grace right now for the Telekabel official is to get this Vayne going and keep this Anivia safe mid lane, which is already rolling. I'm not sure what Pantheon can do for them towards the late game. We will have to see how they want to use him around. Do they just want to use them for a flank? So maybe they can zone them with the ultimate, and then the Anivia puts down the pull and is able to deal damage in another direction where they will force them. We will have to see how they play against this Pantheon pick, because I'm very interested to see what they're gonna do with it. So far, Na has been giving him a very hard time, even though he has Ignite, and maybe for the Veigar, he went teleport. He kind of didn't respect the Anivia damage right there in the mid lane, and he has paid for it 2 times so far.
Well, like hopefully you're gonna learn your lesson after 2 times that you know Nivea does do a lot of damage, especially at the wall. Negas again. Look at all that damage straight onto there. Now, what can you really do against that? Because you can't. The only option there is if you have flash, is to flash through the wall and get away from it. But there's not too much happening here. It's just going to try. They're trying to get another objective in the mid lane. You know, this Ezreal poke is extremely annoying. In the bot lane, you kind of have this Pantheon versus a Meganar, but when you Meganar and you're not sure exactly where the enemy is, you're going to be playing it safe. Rexa and Vayne just in the top lane trying to do something. They could actually go for a pick onto Vega, but Vega seems to just being a lot of damage. And there goes the ult, takes him down, and that's just being caught off guard straight there with the Vega damage.
And look
And as
what the
Dragon
Ezreal and the
falls-
Karma is doing. They're just taking mid lane while the Kha'Zix is taking the tower solo, and the Vega is taking a solo kill on the Rek'Sai. The Rek'Sai has been having a very, very, very bad time this game. We see him going for the aggressive build in the jungle. I'm not sure how this is gonna end up. For the Rek'Sai, we'll have to see. We know that Rek'Sai's kit does not give too much late game, and then on the side of Black Panthers, we do have a huge element of late game. So we'll have to see how this one goes, while Na and Pantheon just poke each other
Just trade,
back and forth. Yeah.
trade the usual. That battle is kind of like awkward because now Gnar's already got, you know, he's tanky right now. He's got a bit of sustain, and also once he hits that Mega Gnar, he's even more powerful. And against, you know, he's not doing too bad as Pantheon. He's not that far behind in terms of farm from that. He just needs to, you know, push out a few more waves. But Gnar's just going to be roaming. There's a bit of damage now, and this Kha'Zix pick is going to be quite crucial, I have to say, especially if they can start to, you know, get a few more return picks. You see him there just counter jungling all the time now while his team pushes out the injectives. And all he's doing right now is completely locking out Rex from, you know, having any great impact in the game.
Problem is that the side of Telekabel official, they do have a Lulu, but then you're gonna have kind of like an issue, like who do I polymorph? Do I polymorph the Gnar that's gonna jump in and stand on sword on the wall, or do I wait and polymorph the Kha'Zix who's gonna jump in after the Gnar has stand us on the wall to basically execute us? So
Now that when that polymorph comes out, you're not really sure because I think they might want to be. I don't know. You could tell me a little bit more, but they should be saving that. It depends on how well Vayne is going to, you know, start her builds and get into the, you know, the late game Vayne that just chunks away your HP. And you see a bit of action coming. The Rek'Sai's going to do the flash, knocks him up. The stun does come out, although there should be Veigar going down, gets condemned against the wall, and there's a nice return pick on there. Now Vayne is just going to go straight back to farming and hopefully start building towards that late game Vayne.
Veigar is a very powerful pick, but he's also a very mobile champion, and pushing where he was pushing without the necessary vision, like the Tribush vision is not enough. Like the whole river was pitch dark and he did not have any clue where anyone other than the Anivia and the Pantheon were.
You see Kha'Zix is going to walk into a trap there, although he just jumps out now. That's one thing about the Nivea Wars. Against champions like Veigar, who can't really escape or do anything, he's extremely powerful pick. You see the Ezreal Qs are starting to land, but here comes the Pantheon out straight into mid. They should just be getting out of this now as they only 2v4. Their team isn't here. Although, there we go. Here comes the Gnar. They should be looking to try and get a few picks here. Maybe, you know, if you can find 1 or 2 kills, you can push out that objective. But now they're just going to go for the good old Rift Herald.
They forced
really
instantly the flash from Ezreal. The flash was like instant there for the Ezreal. There was no question about it. He's like, oh, Panther is coming, I'm out of here. Not just even Arcane Shift, just flash the heck away from that Pantheon. So we do see still the respect, even though the Pantheon is behind.
Oh no, definitely. Pantheon, you know, can start to shred. Look at the damage onto Rek'Sai, and here comes the flash out. There goes the kill. Kha'Zix now is just, you know, just being a complete bully. I wouldn't even say a little bit of a bully, a complete bully to Rek'Sai. And you see, here comes the Neganar and the perfect stun against the wall. There should be a kill going there. Veigar's going to take one. And here comes another one. There's the egg pop from Anivia. Pantheon, you know, just doing a bit of damage there, but there's not much you can really do against, you know, the whole team sitting there. They're going to get the nice mid turret, and that's just what else can they get from this? They could actually, there's some of the Rift Herald, and they are going to continue pushing mid, and that's just look at the objective control and the vision from them as well. And now they're just going to, get back. They're going to continue to Kazakhs continuing to bully Rek'Sai, taking the jungle, taking the farm while they deal with the Rift Herald.
Well, we're actually seeing a very by-the-book game from Black Panthers. If you exclude some situations where the Vega was in places where he shouldn't have been, other than that, they've been playing a very clean game. They have been slowing down the Vayne without having to die and without having to contest any kills and any 2v2s or back and forths. They've been doing exactly what their team comp needs them to do, which is siege towers. They have the node that's beating them Pantheon, so that's a big plus for them. They have the flank teleport. We saw a beautiful, he literally just walked through the tower and gnawed them onto the wall. And we saw that the Lulu was not fast enough with the polymorph there, and even when she did the polymorph, it was too late. So this is where the question comes: do you polymorph the Kazakhs or do you polymorph the Na before he stuns you on the wall? We'll see how they decide to use it later in the game as the game progresses. Right now they're 8k ahead, 4 kills and 4 towers. Basically, right now Telekabel officials need to spend so much money and invest on their vision if they want a chance on coming back.
See, Nivea gets caught out. There could be an
my
ult coming
God.
out. And there it goes. Just pops down on Nivea, getting caught out there
Disgusting.
with the stun. That damage, you're starting to get to the late game Vega where he can almost, land W and then just Q you. And
Here comes
then
the Pantheon
you
again.
ready for the ult. Here comes the Pantheon again. They got to catch the Ezreal out there. Here comes the polymorph getting down. This is going to be a wicked team fight. You see Pantheon there in the back line not doing too much. He's going to have to back away, just take majority of the
Here comes the
damage.
Gnar.
And now here comes the Gnar. Can he make anything happen there? He's a little bit late to the party and is able to do a bit of damage. But Ezreal actually takes down that kill. So you see the perfect team objective comes out here. They're going to try and chunk down this tower and maybe push for an inhibitor. There's not much you can really do from the side there with Nivea just hanging around, Pantheon having to go back to base, and this should be the inhibitor going down there. Here comes the wall just to deny, but you don't want to contest this. They still out-damage you. And Vayne, Vayne's not ready yet for the late game. She's still going to get a bit more farm. She is behind around about 30 CS, I believe. It could be a bit more right now. Yes, still 30 CS.
Very, very nice try there from TLK, trying to use the fact that the Ezreal is there without a flash and use the Pantheon ulti again to try and zone them and be able to kill the Ezreal and get a prize basically from that ultimate of Pantheon. We saw that it was a lot of damage put there, but the Karma shields and the heal, it was just too much for TLK.
Yeah, the trade wasn't in their
being
favor
9k
at all.
behind right now in gold is just a huge deficit. We're gonna see how this goes on. I'm thinking we're gonna have to go full builds for this game to be turned around right now from TLK, but you never know. Maybe a big mistake from Black Panthers could also work for them.
It could definitely work for them, but right now you have everybody, is just doing well. Karma's got 4 assists, the Vegas already got 5 kills, although he has been caught out about 2 or 3 times. So, but you have everybody, getting on the usual stride, and against, the Rek'Sai's already behind 1-4. The CS isn't looking great, and then the Pantheon here, you're going to see a bit of a engagement top sides. Rek'Sai catches Ezreal off guard, although here's the heal. He's going to get into it. Perfect heal. They're going to turn this around. Here comes the Kazakhs with amazing damage there. Takes down Pantheon, and that was just a complete turnaround while they were trying to find a pick. Now, the Rek'Sai should be getting off, and Nivea is going to do a bit of damage, but there comes the wall. There goes the damage. Kazakh should... Oh, there he goes down in the end, but here comes the Vega taking down Lulu.
Wow.
And now this is where you want to get out of there. Vega is being caught off guard by a Vayne and an Nivea, and
look at the Gnar.
base,
Look at the Gnar on the other side of the map.
Look at that now. But
It's
the problem
just
is now
taking
you have
down next
Rek'Sai.
towers.
Yes, Rek'Sai is now going to contest this, but against a Mega Gnar, there's not much you can do, especially when you're that far behind. And now Gnar does do a lot of damage, and you can see they are going to try to take this top lane tower, but not too much is coming. There comes the Pantheon out. How do they respond to this? They do manage to land on 2 of them, stuns the Vega, but he's going to have to get out because he really chunked really low. Both of them really low. There goes the double kill for Vega, taking it down. Meanwhile, Gnar just continues to chunk this inhibitor tower. I mean, the Nexus tower. And now there's not much you can really do to respond to this. They're going to have to try and catch somebody off guard, but there they go. They caught Gnar off guard, but all he does is hop away because he knows his team's at the top. Vega doesn't land a stun, so they just should be able to get an inhibitor here and just walk out, take another objective, or continuing to push as Lulu's chasing Na is not really the best thing you want to see right now, especially
He's
there
not
goes the
really
stun.
phased. He's
There
just
we
going
go. Here,
straight
there
into the
goes the Lulu
base.
ultimate.
Yeah, he's just not phased. He would 1v1 anyone. And now Black Panthers are just obviously focusing onto the Baron. They've taken 2 inhibitors. They've opened the base wide open pretty much. They have one Nexus Tower that's almost ready to fall. And basically the win is theirs to take. And that game is theirs to lose. I think we're going to need a huge mistake to turn around 14k gold difference and 8 towers to 0.
Especially 20 minutes in, you have, Na right now is uncontested in the split pushing where they don't do enough damage to, try burst him down because every time they try group up for this fight, the Veigar just, hops and takes away 2 people and then they're left there. But Karma's, going to see the
Support
Lulu. Here comes
1v1.
out. There
Forces
goes
the
the
flash.
flash, and they're out of this. But you see, they're losing a lot of their abilities and some of the spells just by being in positions where that's not favorable. We lost the Lulu ulti. She doesn't have it. She's just going to shield herself. She should be going down here. There we go. And they're grouping up already. 3 in mid. They got here comes the teleport in. This should be a great fight. And Nivea though does do a lot of damage onto Kha'Zix. He shouldn't be doing too much, but here comes out the heal. And you see, not just hop straight over the wall. No respect right there. Going lands the Q. Vegas just hanging around the backline. There we go. He's going to be battling Nivea. This is a bit of a messy. Rek'Sai's getting damaged. Pantheon throwing out the Qs.
I think we're going to have game here.
This should be the game if you're looking at it in terms of Nana in the front line is now happy enough to just leap at people. There you go, takes him straight down, stunned. There goes the egg, pop goes the egg. Here comes the Pantheon ult, which should be the saving grace, but not really too much coming out as he just gets taken down straight in that team. But yeah, there's not much you can do. And there we go, there's going to be the last man falling, Rek'Sai going down. This should be the game. There goes the Nexus. GG. What a game.
Well played, Black Panthers. Oh my god.
When you have an 18k gold lead, that is one strong
my
fight
god.
right there.
What a game. We knew what was coming. We knew that when we were gonna go into team fights, we're gonna see just full on bursts of damage everywhere. If you exclude the few mistakes that Vega did, by overextending himself and all that, I think the game was played by the book. They knew how to play around the Kha'Zix. The Kama was 1v1 in the Lulu. The Lulu didn't show any strength at all in this game with the way that it was played.
She actually kept popping
in this team comp
on herself.
Exactly.
And then you don't have that for the next team fight. And then that's one of your main key points. You're turning around, points of the game is where you can now bring out the Lulu ultimate to try and save a Pantheon who dived in or something like that. But it just didn't work in their favor. They kept having to use it defensively, so they couldn't get these aggressive picks.
Exactly. So it's basically what we're expecting to see. You were saying from the start that Black Panthers, you think they have the upper hand in the early game. They used it very well. We saw the Nard getting pushed, but in the end, it didn't really matter. The Ignite didn't really phase him. He didn't have a problem at all with it. So, yeah. GG will play for Black Panthers. They move on to the top 4, and we will go on a break very, very shortly, and we will be back to bring you the exact next game. So stay tuned where we are, where you are, and where we are as well, and we will be back.